Good afternoon, everybody. It is Matt, aka the Lumberjack Landlord, and Mr. Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time in his snazzy new digs.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, you've seen nothing yet. I expect this to be a lot better in about 3 or 4 weeks. So, but thank you. It's fun.
I love it. It looks fantastic, and it's like, and now because mine is under construction, now I have a template and have something that I have to build onto. So it's going to be. I'm super excited to see what you do there, and excited that we're all going to be kind of in new spaces and never able to compete with Dion, who will always be in another realm.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't get there. That's expensive dirt. Another realm. The metaverse, whatever it is. That's expensive.
True story. So the first thing on our plate, Michael, today is I wanted to talk about the Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack live stream that we do on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Myself, my wife Ashley, Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack, hence the title. Wanted to talk about that with you because what we're really seeing is, kind of how we're impacting the market and how we're impacting folks. But you have your course, you have your free course, you have your paid for course, you have the books that you actually, people are loving, and I get always great feedback on those things. Kind of, how do you see, talk to me a little bit about what your vision is and what you're seeing, kind of as a reaction to the Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack, kind of that brand and what we're doing there in that time.
It's just, it's special, and it actually may morph into the most valuable thing that we do, because one of the things that you see when you're in the game of helping people is it's very common for one or the other. And it's not always the man, not always the woman, that is more eager, more energized, more excited about what real estate either is or could be. And the Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack is a wonderful story because it is a real life example, right? I did an interview with Ashley where she shares, I wasn't on board, right? She shares a story about her literally weeping after walking through one of the dumps, and people need to hear that, right?
Yeah.
And then she tells the story, about getting on board slowly. And, one thing you and I talked about after that interview was she was fully on board long after you thought she was, right? So these are all things that really happen in the real world. And the fact that Ashley will do this with you every Thursday as a scheduled activity is amazing, right? One of the things on my side, everybody asks to talk to Olivia. So one thing that people will know is Olivia has done real estate meetups in person before with me and taken questions. She is just not going to sit down in front of a camera and be on YouTube, right? She is so not, she's like, you go do your thing, go away. So the fact that Ashley's great for that, the fact that she'll do hours every week for the greater good, the fact that you're building a library of content that will build over time is so helpful, because most adults are in relationships, just statistically speaking, and then most couples aren't on the same page with the same excitement. So I'm excited to be just a very small part of Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack and seeing that grow and grow and grow.
That's a huge part. I mean, it's all that we're all doing, together and trying to reach folks. And the first thing that has to happen is people share when there's something valuable or they learned anything. Just say, hey, you got to check this out. I'm not sure what you'll learn from it, but it's pretty cool. Just at least take a watch. We have people that actually do date night around.
Oh, that's awesome.
They literally, like, we've gotten pictures of them sitting in their living room, taking pictures of them standing next to their big screen TV where they're live streaming it on their televisions. So it's a lot of fun. It's a brand that continues to grow. But I think the reason that I love it so much is because we've taken somebody that was a receptionist in a dental office, and now she is part of the most dynamic team on the East Coast for real estate.
Yeah, and will likely help tens of thousands of people in very short order. So shout out Ashley.
Yeah, she's amazing. And the funny thing is like, she's always, I said, listen, you only ever have to talk about what you know. If you don't know, just, I don't know. And so it's funny because for us, right, we've done 10,000 presentations in our life.
Oh God.
I mean, you've done 5,000 just on this channel.
Yeah, exactly. I've done a few more than 10,000.
So we've done thousands upon thousands of presentations. And so this is kind of like old hat for us.
Yeah.
But for her, being a nurse, sitting there in one-on-one with a patient, or having a conversation and advocating for her patient with a doctor, I said, it's just exactly the same thing. And I said, if you don't know something, we don't know something, and that's okay. And I said, but there's so much more that you think you don't know that you do know.
Yeah, I mean, I just got to be honest, right? You saying something and then Ashley saying the same thing with slightly different vocabulary will probably be more meaningful.
Totally agree.
It's validation,
Yep.
but it's also coming for someone who isn't like known as an expert, right? You're an expert on my channel every Tuesday.
Right.
Ashley is not.
Right.
Hence, what she brings to the table cannot be understated. It's amazing.
I think the thing that I take away from it the most is, even though she cried through it and I dragged her through it as gently as I possibly could. I think, and we joke
gently.
Yeah,
drag.
it was a gentle drag.
Okay.
And so I think the funny thing is like we have a sense of humor about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I don't blame, like we still go through town today and I point at that and I'm like, yeah, that was you.
That's you, honey.
Yeah, that's you. Nice job, babe.
Nice job.
If you wonder why we don't have the house in Vegas yet, right there, that's it. And so we get a good roll and good joke about it. And it's fun. It's not mean.
No, yeah.
And I think that one of the things that everyone has to work on too with their spouse is you really have to put yourself in their shoes. You really have to understand where they're coming from and allow them to be completely transparent with you about what really scares them about it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, all there's going to foster is resentment. And if you can get that, it will make your relationship so much stronger, make you a better communicator, constantly putting yourself in other people's shoes. Like I am always, every single time, it just really, truly makes me feel good that I taught my wife something that was valuable. But then she's actually doing the work. She was in a basement 3 days ago when it was 6 degrees outside, restarting an oil furnace, while she had Eliana, our 9-month-old, in a car seat next to her.
Wow.
Literally on the floor next to her. And Ashley is on hands and knees and literally restarting an oil furnace while she's got the baby.
Yeah.
So all I have to say to that is, A, she knows she's amazing, but I tell her all the time. But B, I never want to hear how passive my income is and how I got lucky or any of those things. This is all work. It's contrived. We go out at night. Like our week this week, quite frankly, has sucked. This is the kind of week that we look at and go, Mike Zuber has it right. We need to outsource.
Suddenly that 6-7% doesn't sound so bad.
Exactly. I was like, would you take all 100? And so we kind of got to that, that was definitely a place we were at this week because it was just like boom, 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 one after the other. But we know that we've been at this game long enough. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. So we weather the storm. We fix what happened. We create better process from it. But recognize that, yeah, this is a job you have to make effort. But what Ashley recognizes and said it last night on our live stream to somebody that asked was, I look, and she's only 36. So she looks at it and says, I don't ever have to work again. And I would like it if Matt never has to work again. And then we can go do whatever we want forever. And so she recognizes that she's put in 15 years of this, but we're now to the point where we can truly pretty much do whatever we want to do.
It's pretty amazing.
And anybody else can get there, but it's always going to be hard work. Most importantly is you have to have forward momentum, get into meetups, get into reading and rereading good books like Michael Zuber's One Rental at a Time, or the story of the story of the 15 millionaires. Read those books because that will bolster your hope. It will also largely give you a plan. A lot of books out there talk very, it's in the ether of where you're going to get the answer, but there's no step-by-step. And that's a big thing. One of the reasons that we're really on board with what you guys are doing, and you and Olivia, is because I think that a couple cannot be stopped when they're both rowing in the same direction at the same speed. That is a team that can't be beat.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the same direction, same speed, it's unbeatable. I mean, I would settle for the same direction. I don't even have to be the same speed, just the same direction.
I was watching one of my old favorite movies, totally weird. I get it. Alan Quatermain, Lost City of Gold. And literally this was one of Sharon Stone's breakthrough roles. And she literally looks at the guy and goes, "You're going to have to put the paddle in the water. We're not going to go anywhere. You got to put the paddle in the water."
Nice.
And this is where a lot of us feel like the driver in the relationship for real estate. This is a lot of the area where we feel, and we kind of feel like, oh, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because we're shouldering all of it, but we're both going to benefit from the result. So the best thing that you can do is invest time in your spouse to have them see what the possibility can really be. If they're not on board, largely speaking, it's because you haven't cast the vision yet that they can buy into.
Well, that's exactly where I wanted to close this discussion.
Yeah.
Something you learn in sales when you pay attention and you're good at it is there are two things you are selling anything. I call it the heart and the mind.
Yep.
Most of the people that I competed with, and yes, I felt like I was competing with my peers in my organization because there can only be one top dog. And I always wanted to be that person.
Sure.
My peers, they would sell on ROI and business case and I can save you this and I can help you reduce. They were selling, right? The mind, right? The mind's very analytical.
Yep.
I never felt comfortable doing that, even though numbers are easy for me, because I always thought you sold the heart first.
Yes.
And over time, I've come to realize that that is the way to sell. If you can find your way into someone's heart, someone's vision, that really touches their soul, if you will.
Yeah.
Selling's freaking easy.
Yep.
I would tell most people that are in contentious situations about real estate investing is stop screaming cash flow, stop screaming net worth. You are trying to sell a mind to somebody who is shut off.
Yep.
Go find that heartstring and pull on it. Is it Anna Kelly who wanted to be home with her babies?
That's right.
Is it Greg Dickerson who wanted to run his own shop? What is the heartstring? And oh, by the way, they're not easy to find all the time.
No.
But when you find it, start yanking. Then go to the mind and you'll be fine. But yeah, most of you all are selling badly, and it's a train wreck waiting to happen.
Totally agree with you. I think the other key to this too, and what I always talk about as well when it talks about selling, is I always tell people, I'm not selling, I'm trying to create alignment. If there's alignment, right? If there's alignment where they then say, well, these are my life goals, I need to understand how I'm going to accomplish those.
Yes.
And these are the family's life goals, or these are the husbands and the wives, or the husband and the husband, or the wife and the wife. And we're looking at this, or a throuple. Learn that word, love that word.
Love the throuple.
Yeah, love the throuple. And so as you're looking at it, I think it really comes down to alignment, which is you want to accomplish a task, you want to accomplish a goal. The question is, how do you work together as a team to get there? Celebrating each other's differences. Ashley has no problem cozying up and sitting there in front of a fireplace and doing accounting stuff for 3 hours. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm looking at new deals, new projects where I can create value. That's my skill set. So I would just tell couples that you need to stop talking past each other. Yes. You need to start really outlaying, these are my thoughts. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to accomplish. And then say, okay, how can we accomplish those things together? Because there's nothing that's nearly ever as good as your spouse getting a win that makes them feel more confident and better about themselves. There's nothing better than that. That's what makes us good married guys, and
nailed it.
Our wives feeling validated, our wives feeling treasured and precious to us. And we want to accomplish the goal. And the last thing that we want to do is trample all over you. The first thing that we want to do, and this is just, again, from married guys, we just want to put us in a position to be successful and understand that without you, the other half, it won't ever be as successful as it could be.
Couldn't agree more.
So awesome. Mike, tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
One rental at a time. There is a YouTube channel, Instagram, website, and books. Enjoy.
And if you really enjoy Mike and myself together, there are over 200 videos.
Wow.
On Michael's channel. I am actually the most prolific.
Yes, you are.
I am most prolific, but we'll keep it at that. Most prolific on your channel. But that being said, Mike, thanks so much. Look forward to segment number 2. As always, we try and create great content for you guys. Hit subscribe, hit the like button, and more importantly, share. If you're a part of a couple or a throuple that is not getting where you want to get to from a product perspective or from a real estate investment perspective, take these videos and share them. Come to the Thursday nights, hang out with us, ask questions. We are there to answer the simplest of simple questions. So there's no judgment there whatsoever. We recognize we're picking people up on the spectrum who came across us because the live stream was available on YouTube, all the way to they already have 10 of or 20 of them together. So I encourage everybody to come hang out with us Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack on the live stream on the Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube. Michael, thank you so much. We'll see you in segment 2.
Yes, sir.